Hi guys!
Welcome to my YouTube channel. Sorry, I've always wanted to say that.
Go on, NOMMIE, introduce the video.
Hi guys, welcome to Mercy's YouTube channel. Remember to comment, like, subscribe. I don't know what people say.
Okay, so I don't even think I remember either. The last time I did a video was like months ago, and guys, I'm so sorry.
They've been missing you, Mercy.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mercy Diosa. If you are new, thank you for watching my channel, and please do not forget to click your notification button. That way every time I post a video, you guys will never miss a video again. So guys, I have to start off by saying I am so sorry for being MIA, but you know, life happens.
Get the violence out, get the violence.
Annoying. But today I'm here with NOMMIE. Say hi to NOMMIE, guys. NOMMIE, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is NOMMIE. I'm a singer-songwriter and I dabble in presenting now. And I'm a mummy, which is what we're here for, right?
Yeah. NOMMIE's one of my mum friends. I don't even think I have that many mum friends, but NOMMIE is my mum friend. She's like
1 out of 3 of my mummy friends.
Oh really?
There's not really a lot of us.
I feel like there's a lot of us, but I'm very picky as to who I, choose to spend my time with.
Not
and NOMMIE's like really, really cool. You let me tell you something, yeah? You know one of my mum friends?
Yeah.
You know in my story time video, the catfish one?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, no.
See why you have to be selective?
You have to be selective. She's why Mercy's only got 1 mum friend. And I've got 3, but you know, I feel like it's hard. It is hard. There's not a lot of us. Or a lot of us doing what we do. Because I feel like people don't really relate, do they? They're just like, you're a mom, but you're doing YouTube and you got a business.
It's not even like, when I go out, I get annoyed with people saying, where's your baby?
Oh my god, she's at home! Because she has a home.
Mummies need respite as well. Bear in mind you're doing so much.
Yeah.
What do you do, NOMMIE?
I'm at uni, I'm doing my masters, I do music, I do a bit of presenting, I work.
Can you imagine? She's got a full-time job, goes to university, is a mum, does music, does presenting.
And then someone
and then you want to ask her what she's doing out when she's getting a bit of respite. Like, please, come on.
I know. The worst is when family members ask you though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like, you know the snidey cousins that you get who are like, where's the baby? You look so nice. And you're like, she's in the back of the car.
You know what? At least it's family members. Like, I remember, like, not even, I always get the whole, like, my mum helps me too much to look after the baby. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
like,
what do you mean?
If you have the support, utilize the support. I'm not out every weekend, like, popping mollies and, like, getting high and going... Guys, like, you'll see me, like, at a concert or a club, like, it's not that deep. Everyday thing.
When we go out as well, remember, guys, that the baby's up at, like, 7, 8. So we have to get up. You guys get to lie in, but if I'm out, I'm making a sacrifice because I'm out until what, 5 in the morning, and then by 8 I have to be up, and then life carries on.
Meanwhile, your average Becky with no child is sleeping until 1. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because we've also lived that life, right?
But now we are in a different phase of our lives, and
exactly.
It's just like, don't ask us where our babies are. No. First question. Yeah, first point. Don't ask us where our babies are.
Ask me how my baby is doing. Ask me, oh, how is she? Yeah. How old is she now? Do not ask me, why are you here? Where's your baby?
It's because people just try and be spiteful, but it's like, bye, Becky.
Bye.
Because you're just being spiteful. Like, oh, don't you think you're doing too much? You've got so much on your plate. And it's like, life has to move on. Like, life has to move on. We can't just be mums forever. Like, life has to move on.
I feel like that, but sometimes then I feel like, okay, maybe, half of the time you actually want to say the real truth about being a young mum. And because we are young mums, like, we're only, what, 20, 24?
25.
Oh, 24, 25. So, like, we're young mums. We're not 55.
Yeah.
We're 24.
Life has to go.
And we're both what?
We're
single.
And we're cute. And we're cute.
Single and
we're cute. Like, we're not gonna stop our lives. Like, life has to move on. We have to work. We have to basically pursue our dreams. Like, Mercy's doing YouTube. You've got a business. Like, we do so much, and life has to move on. You can't just be a mum forever. We're young, and we still have like loads of things that we want to do with our lives, including dating and getting out there and meeting, perspectives.
we're mothers, but we have it easy, as opposed to how our mothers were growing up. And my mum, she had Coco when she was 16. Now, I can't imagine being 16 and having a baby. And when she was 24, she was here looking after her family in Zim. She was doing a lot. Life is no longer like that for us. Like, things have changed. And the way we're living our lives is not necessarily the same way that they live their lives. Me, personally, I can say that I don't raise Zia by myself. And obviously, I'm Isaiah's mum. However, Isaiah is raised by a village.
It takes a village, honestly.
It takes a village to raise a baby. So in order for me to chase my dreams, I have people that back me and people that are behind me saying, okay, I'll have the baby. Mercy, you go and do this. I'll have the baby. You can go and do this. And it necessarily doesn't mean we're out all the time. It means sometimes we're doing things in the background that you guys may not be able to see in order for us to provide a life for our children,
because they need to eat at the end of the day. And it's one of those, I feel like with us, we don't have the shame as well. Like when our mothers were growing up and they were single mums, it was like, oh, she had a child out of wedlock, blah 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 blah, and they had this stigma, so they were always trying to.
But do you not feel personally, okay, NOMMIE, guys, let me just say this, you did things the right way per se. Me personally, guys, the
right way being like
the right way being
engagement, blah blah blah, then you have the baby.
So that's something you may not know about. NOMMIE is a baby mum, but she's not a baby mum by choice, or she's a baby mum by, let's say, circumstances. Like for say, she's a baby mum by circumstance. So she got married, then had the baby, and she had the family situation, but obviously she's not in there anymore, meaning that she is now a single mum. As for me, guys, oh my god, I like lula.
But there is no right way though, that's the thing.
There's no right way,
because think about it,
I feel like our stories are similar, but they're different in a way. And one thing I always get is people having their opinions, you know, shoved like down my throat for having a child out of wedlock, or, you know, not doing things the proper way. But I really kind of need to understand, like, what is the proper way?
There is no proper way, because even myself, people will still have judgments. People will still be like, oh, you really left like the man that paid your lobola and you took the child and went. Like, there is no, people are still going to judge you at the end of the day, because as for what they know, you're just a single mum. And you'd have to then go back to the background like, oh, but then I was married. But no one cares, because all they want to do is just judge you. But I feel like it's changed, and we have a little bit more of support and stuff, and people are trying to open up their minds to the fact that if you're a single mum, it doesn't mean that you're like done out here. It means that, you know, there's so many, like Taraji P. Henson's a single mum, like Sandra Bullock is a single mum, like single mums are out here doing the damn thing. Okay,
NOMMIE, I have a couple questions for you, right? So guys, to my channel, I can ask what I like. So when you had the baby, I'm only ever like talking in reference to my situation, because when I had Zia wasn't planned for him.
No, it wasn't.
I was in October living my best life, planning to go to a future concert, and I said, my boobs are high.
You're like, no, she wasn't planned.
Oh, she wasn't planned?
It wasn't planned, because it's one of those.
So, like,
you just...
When you found out you were pregnant, like, were you excited?
I remember feeling really tired, and I was just like, this makes no sense. And then obviously I took the test and I was pregnant. I was excited. But from that point on, I'm not gonna obviously shade, you know, my child's father or anything, but from that point on, I feel like that was just the beginning of the end. And I feel like maybe he wasn't as excited as I was, or he was scared, or whatever it was, but that was basically like the degeneration of everything. So I try not to think about like everything else, but I was excited. I was like, oh my god. But I was really nervous, because I was like, oh no, I want to be a solicitor, I want to do so much, like what am I going to do now? And then you're thinking in your head like that you have to rearrange so much. So that was what I was thinking at that time, but turned out good.
You had Izzy, and now you had to kind of, did you have to transition from being in like a perfect fairy tale per se, as in, okay, I'm, you know, like I'm married, I'm having a kid, and then all of a sudden you had to go to that, to being a single mom, going back home. So, and I feel like, you know, you've done a lot of things, like in between giving birth and, you know, obviously not being with the child's father to now being at home and raising Izzy by yourself. Like, how has that been? Like,
so in terms of the fairy tale, I think in my head it was already like going to shit, like, I'm not gonna swear, but yeah. So the fairy tale in my head wasn't happening anyway, because I was thinking, you know how you imagine marriage to be like this perfect thing, blah blah blah. So
and I feel like at this age that's what we all want, isn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't, and I was just like, okay. So when Izzy came along, it was one of those where I had to just like make a call, and I had to be like, you can't raise your child in a certain environment, so you just have to be like, do I want my child to, you know, grow up in this environment, or do I just want to make the call and move on? And that's what I did. So
yeah. Do you know what? I commend women that are out here making the right decisions for their children and not being so selfish and solely thinking about themselves. I feel like when you're a mum, one thing that I think people miss or fail to understand is that when you become a mum, you're now no longer thinking about yourself. You're having to think about what's best for your child. And I feel like the decisions that I have made, I've had people behind me 100%, guys, but I've also had people against me for having made the decisions that I've made and choosing to obviously raise my daughter without her father. I do feel like you can't force a man to be a father, and you can't force a man to want to be in their child's life, because as much as I had a choice to keep her, he's also got a choice to
be present,
not want to be involved or be present. Do you know what I mean? It's like either or. But if someone truly shows you that they don't want to be or they want to be, it's up to you, you know, the route that you like want to take. And me personally, guys, I told you, I went from him not being in Isaiah's life to him coming back 3 months after she was born. Then he came consistently for 4 weeks. We tried the co-parenting, it didn't work between me and him. Then we had our own personal problems. The co-parenting had to move from him to my mother and my sister. He ruined both of those relationships to now him no longer seeing his child. And as for NOMMIE, it's different. NOMMIE is like Nommie's managed to co-parent very well as opposed to me, guys. She's co-parenting.
I wouldn't say it's like roses, because it was a bit in the beginning. It was like, guys, it was treacherous. Like we were at loggerheads. Like the families got involved. Obviously, because the Lobola broke off, so everyone was just like, especially his family, they were just like, how can you do this? How can you take the baby? Blah 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 blah.
Both Zimbabwean, and you know, you've done things the right way per se, as in getting married and the Lobola and having the child. Me personally, my child's father is not Zimbabwean, he's Kenyan. So I didn't kind of have to go through all of that. I just said, oh mom, surprise, I'm pregnant, I'm a baby, here's a grandchild. And she was like, she was like, okay.
She has hair.
She has hair.
That's what mum always says. She's got hair.
She's got hair. So do you feel like having done things that way, or you guys both being Zimbabwean, you've had to kind of nurture the relationship as to, is his father has to be in her life, and he, you know, you kind of have to make more of an effort with him being in her life, as opposed to me, like, I don't know any Kenyans, guys, except my baby. So I've not really been put in a situation where I'm having to kind of fight for.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to pick and choose, because even with Lobola, there's people who are like, well, if you've been Lobola, like, that's it, like, you have to stay, and that's it. But you have to think, actually, is it that deep for me to be sad for the rest of my life? No. So then you have to think, okay,
especially being, when you were married, you what, 24?
Yeah, no.
Especially
22?
20?
Yeah.
22?
I got married very young.
Wow.
Yeah.
So being 22 and married, I would literally say,
like,
if it's not working, guys.
Literally, that's the thing. But the pressure of Lobola is always like, well, you should stay, and you just have to think, nah, it's not that deep. When it comes to co-parenting, I feel like it is a personal choice at the end of the day, because I don't really, the family can kick off forever, but you can still be like, no. But I feel like it's a personal choice. It will always come down to what you want to do and your conviction. I personally just don't want my child to like ask me when she's 18 why her dad wasn't in her life, if her dad could have been in her life. Like in your case, he just doesn't want to, I'm guessing.
Oh no, he's not interested.
He's
guys.
not. That's the thing. So if Zaya was to ask you when she's 18 why wasn't my dad around, you can be like, listen, this is what it is. But whereas if he's trying to make effort and I'm blocking it, then a little bit of me is like, I can't do that. Like I can't be that woman who's like, no, you can't see your child, because that's baby mama drama, guys. That's being a baby mom.
Do you know what I've always said though? I've always said sometimes when men have children with women, they assume that they'll, you know, have the baby mom baby dad relationship, which in essence means we're arguing all the time. Why aren't you seeing your child? Give me my child.
But we're still having sex on the side.
However, there are women like us, no sexual relations with our baby dad.
Nope.
If you don't want to be in your child's life, that's fine. That's a choice. You're allowed to have a choice. As for child support, like it depends, you know, how much you need the help. Like if you need to put somebody on child support, that's your prerogative, like you can do so. If you don't, then you don't. But in my case, I'm the kind of person, I wouldn't even say like pride is the issue. It's not the issue. Sometimes it's just the principle that if you get someone's child pregnant, like in your child's father's life, he's clearly wanting to be in his child life. He may not want a relationship with you, which is what I understand from my own personal relationship. My child's father didn't want a relationship with me, and I was okay with it.
But you still have an obligation to your child.
Thank you.
That's the thing.
And then there are men that take the obligation to their child, and there are men that don't. And guess what? It's still what? It's still okay.
It's still okay. That's the thing. And if you're like a single mom and you're thinking, well, you might be in, you know, a good situation, bad situation, but just know that it's okay. Like whether or not if he wants to be in his child's life, allow him. If that situation allows, because obviously there's other things that, you know, need to consider. But if he wants to be, he wants to be. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Either way, it's okay. Yeah.
How do you feel about co-parenting now?
It's still a bit like rocky.
Why?
Because I feel like it requires a lot of communication, and it requires both of you to put aside your own personal feelings about each other. Like you can think the other person's an absolute like idiot, but for the sake of your child in that moment, you have to think, okay, I have to communicate, I have to be peaceful, civil, even if they're making, you know, horrible decisions, I have to guide them through, you know, all that kind of stuff. You have to teach them certain things, obviously, because they're men and they might not necessarily know everything about kids, but it's a bit rocky because you have to put yourself aside, but you know it's fine in you know, in the grand scheme of things. It could be worse, and I think it's just a constant effort from both people to try and just be focused on the child, and
nothing personal,
no personal jabs. And sometimes it does get to that point where you're just like, you will go at you know, at each other's throats, because you'll just be like, you know what,
but it's natural, isn't it? Like it's just natural human instinct to actually, like, if someone is insulting you or somebody is saying something that you don't like, you're gonna you're gonna be like come outside, let's catch each other outside.
Let's catch each other outside.
But now you have this little person that's so innocent, and you have to think about them, and you kind of have to put your feelings aside. And guys, I don't like the word, but being a baby mother, that's not the easiest thing to do. Especially when someone you've had a child with is doing you so
wrong.
Oh my god, guys.
People think that we like this life and whatever, but the person...
I don't, you know, I actually don't like
having to see the person who did you dirty and still have to be mature and a woman about it, that is like, listen,
and do you know what else is? Do you know that the disadvantage that you have being a baby mom versus being a baby father is that he can give you a child and he can carry on living his life as if he's never had a child. Now, when you're a woman and you've had a child, yes, you can live your best life like you've never had a child, but you're now being looked at as irresponsible, and you're getting all these
where's your baby
and all these negative connotations like thrown at you. Whereas the man goes and lives his life as if he's never had a child. He can date as much as he wants. He can go out as much as he wants. He can come or not come and see his child as much as he wants. Like, everything is pretty much up to him. But as for you, as a woman, you have to prove yourself so much to
people that you're responsible, you're a good mom, like you don't actually go out that much, you've got your own money, like all these things that you have to like fulfill while the guy is turning up, like literally like 2 weeks after the baby was born, certain people were turning up already. Not even 2, it was like a week. And I'm just like, and I was just there like, wow.
Don't even start.
So there's just
Can you imagine your vagina is throbbing, mate, and
I had a
C-section. Baby is crying. Oh, we both had C-sections.
Yeah.
So either your vagina is throbbing or you've literally had your intestines like cut. Guys. And you're trying to heal, and your baby father is out turning up with his mandem.
I know. Like, and you're just there like, okay. But then this is the same person who want, you know, a certain degree of respect from you, and you're just like, things like that make you
earn respect. Like you don't just get it.
Yeah.
You don't demand respect. You don't get it just like that. You have to earn it. If you don't earn it, you're done out here.
You're done out here. Imagine if Zaya becomes famous and then, you know,
Mom always uses that example, and she always gives me the example of Barack Obama, saying Barack Obama's dad denied him. Then he became the president of the United States.
And then suddenly, oh, I'm your father. And then he wrote, but then that's the thing, and then he wrote letters to my father and stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like that you do need your father in your life, but some of these men, you just think like, what are you doing?
Trash. No, guys. I always use myself as an example. Me, I've never had my father in my life. I've had a stepfather. However, my biological father, like, I've never cared for it, or I've never cared, like, I've never really thought about it like that. I wouldn't say it's not because I don't care, but I feel like in life as children go with what's there in that moment. Yeah. If I have a mother who loves me, if I have a grandma who loves me, if I have an auntie, if I have an uncle, and I have a whole village of people that truly care about me, I'm not gonna focus on what I don't have. You have to teach your children to focus on what they have as opposed to what they don't have.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want your child to be feeling is neglect and feeling that they were not loved, when in actual fact there were people that actually loved them, except one
person. And that's the thing, you have to think about the environment you want to create for your child as well. So some people might be like, oh, so you left because after you paid Lobola, but you have to think, do you want your child to grow up in a household where there's yelling and whatever, and they feel anxious, they feel like it's their fault, and they grow up to be really anxious, nervous children? Or do you want your child to grow up in a home where they're loved, they're celebrated? She gets attention from Izzy gets attention from like 4 different people, like, and if she decides this person's boring her, she goes to the next
one. Yeah.
That's the kind of environment you want for your child. And it's important, but creating a good environment for your child is more important, because you can't come and die for having a father in the house. No. A trash father at that. It has to be good vibes, good, you know, just a good family unit where everyone is positive and they're supporting your child.
We've spoken about motherhood and being single mums. I feel like there are other aspects to being single mums other than just being mums. And I think this is like what you guys want to know is dating. What is dating like now that you're a mum?
Okay, so before, you'd see a guy muscly, tall with a beard, and you'd be like, beard gang, you'd be like, hi, oh my god, he's so cute. And then that'll be it. I wouldn't even care what your name was. You become a mum, it's a bit different, I think. But then my baby dad wasn't the typical, good looking, whatever, because that's not really my type. I think if you want like a plaything, obviously beard gang, come through. But I feel like now that I'm a mum, I just have to like reinforce that thing in my head of like, okay, let's just carry on this trend of having, someone who's financially stable, someone who's got ambition, someone who has goals. But I think more so what kind of character that person is. So they have to really be like a kind person at the core. You just have to be like, first of all, do you love kids? Secondly, are you just a good person? Are you not trying to, you're not trying to be a scammer, trapper, fraudster. You're just trying to go to work, get an honest living. If you've got goals, a business, whatever, but are you just a straightforward person? I think that's the most important thing now. So
for me personally, now dating is just no longer about me. Before I had a child, it was about me. Mercy used to do what Mercy like, guys. I'm the stubborn type. You guys know that already. Like, I used to date some of the dodgiest characters, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I used to date the dodgiest characters. And before I had a baby, it was okay, do we obviously get along? Are we compatible? Now I'm a mum, like, I do feel like in whatever relationship I go in, Isaiah she's one of the first things I'll mention. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm one of those women that declare their child, whether they ask me or not, whether I'm standing on a mountain, high top, wherever, down there, wherever, I'll always tell you that I have a child. I feel like that's the most important thing to do. So but not only do I need
do that, you know. I found this out that some women
save
don't.
that, keep that thought. But guys, I always declare that I have Isaiah, and one of the reasons the most important reason I declare that I have Isaiah is because I don't want anyone who pursues me or who wants to be in a relationship with me to think that I come as Mercy. I come as Mercy with Isaiah. It's both of us or nothing. Like, there is no in between. Like, you either love me and my child or you don't love me at all. There's no way that you can love me and then you don't love my child. I'm gonna be like, okay baby, like, let's be in a relationship, like, let's get this popping. Like, it's not going to happen. And ultimately, when I get in a relationship with you, the guy that I end up with or that I end up marrying or being in a committed relationship with, you automatically, you know, kind of whether you like it or not, you have a responsibility of being a father to Isaiah. So like NOMMIE says, you have to be of good character. You have to be someone who, you have to love kids. You have to have a job. You have to be a provider, because
you're not just
when we're now in a union, I'm not looking after my child by myself. And I feel like when you're in a relationship, it's important to say to the man that you're with that my child is not my child. My child is our child. Because when we get into a relationship and then we then start having other kids, the last thing, do you know what scares me the most about relationships is me being in a relationship and Isaiah feeling like she's any less than any other kids that I am going to have that will have their biological father present. Like, I don't want that for my child, period. Like, I don't want that for her. And the person who's taught me that the most is Mum. I'm not gonna lie. She's always told me that she will never be in a relationship where any of her children will feel any less. Like, they always have to be on point. So that means any guy that I get, he has to be under the understanding and under the reasoning and like just pure for the fact that my Isaiah, my child, any other children that I'm gonna have are exactly the same. And
Isaiah becomes your child. Izzy becomes your child.
Exactly.
Literally, as soon as you pursued me, you're pursuing Isabella.
Yeah.
Basically. That's it.
And I feel like when you're now dating, that's when you need a certain kind of guy now, guys. You can't be dating somebody who's 19 and in university,
or someone who just thinks
that's too much responsibility for a young man to handle. That you're trying to get my pum pum, but at the same time you're gonna try to be a baby daddy. Like, my own baby daddy couldn't be a baby daddy, so I'm not gonna have this expectation of you that you're gonna be my baby daddy. However, if I meet somebody who is of age, like me personally, I think I like older men. I'm better suited to older men. Now that I'm a mum, I feel like it's even more important for me to date older men because they come with the characteristics and the mentality that we expect of mature people.
Not just approaching you because you're cute and whatever. No. Like, they're thinking long term. They're thinking about the
the future mother of my children.
I would like to
get married to you.
All of that stuff. Whereas younger guys, they're just like, oh, you're cute, what do you do, blah, blah,
and I feel like older guys notice certain things that young men do not notice. That we are young mothers, we are getting it and we're hustling. We look after our children and our children look hella good. So in their eyes, you're thinking,
this woman can take care of herself, she's working, she's running businesses.
That's the kind of woman that I would like for me. Yeah. That's the kind of woman that I would like to be in my home looking after our household and my children.
Yeah. Whereas with any old, slay queen, you don't really know what she's capable of. That's the one thing about being a single mom is you are obviously presenting yourself in the already mum role. Like, I'm literally ready-made. Like, I know how to be a mum. I know how to do all of that. I know how to cook, take care of the home.
That comes after. You say that comes after. If you go on my Instagram page, guys, I've got pictures of me pregnant. I've got one picture of Isaiah. I don't tend to post her on Instagram. I usually Snapchat because that's my day-to-day life. And if something interesting is happening, I'll always snap. However, if you go on my Instagram, like the word you've just used is slay queen. Me, I look like a slay queen, I'm not gonna lie.
We are slay queens.
You know what I mean? We're slay queens.
Literally.
Like, if you go on our Instagram, we're wearing our little pom-pom
Popping.
shorts. Nommie's out there doing her thing, singing.
Popping.
So, you may think like, okay, you're doing all this, but when do you have the time to...
Yeah, to be a mum.
To be a mum.
Mm.
And the truth is that we just happen to do it
We just
all.
We just do it all. And, you know, we're the package. Single mums are the full package.
Yeah.
They really are. And if you're a guy and you're looking for, you know, ready-made woman, I think single mums are the ones.
Do you know what I've had? Apparently guys go for single mums because, like, you know, like the typical single mum, or maybe... No, I used to have a friend, guys. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. I used to have a friend who became a baby mum before I did. Like, this was like years back. And then she told me that, you know what, this was before I was even pregnant, before Isaiah was in the picture. She told me, she was like, oh, you're better off getting pregnant and getting a council flat. So now I'm thinking, and one thing I've heard that niggas like is single moms because they think we have our own space, they can come and be bummy over there.
No.
Guys, we're not looking for them kind of niggas there that want to be bummy. That's not what we're about.
We're not leaving our parents' house until we get married.
We both still live at home. This is what people...
Yeah.
Another thing on me. Oh my God, girl. You know, in my dating experience, I've dated the guys that are like, they think like me still living at home is so stifling to them, like having their way with me. Like,
I know.
They're like, I want you to be out with me over the weekend. I want to be spending more time with you. Or if they come to Leicester maybe for a date, or maybe a guy books a hotel, that's your hotel to sleep in. It does not mean that I'm coming to that hotel to sleep with you. I've got a bed. Why is it...
I'm going home.
Do you know how many guys like I've stopped talking to because of that reason? That they say because they come to visit me over here and I make the conscious choice to go home to my... Listen, a date is supposed to be anything. It's not supposed to be anything more than 6 hours, guys. When
a date is dinner.
It's dinner, maybe
yeah,
go for
hours.
drinks, you know.
Then bye-bye.
And then...
Bye. You go to your hotel.
But why is it now, this is more when I've become a baby mum, that they think because I now have a child, I don't have an African parent at home. And let me tell you, I do. I'm on a leash, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I can't leave my house going on a date and saying to my mum I'm coming home the next.
They'll be like, with who? With who? Why?
If you're not my husband, if you haven't presented yourself to be my husband to be, if you have not presented yourself to be a boyfriend, it depends obviously the kind of criteria that your parents are looking for. But as for me and my own, I can never leave my house to go with you overnight and pack a bag and leave this house and leave my child and not come back home unless I want to die, guys. Unless I want to die, I can't do that. And I always try to explain this to niggas, but they don't seem to get it because they're like, oh, but you have a child, I want to spend more time with you.
No.
I mean, what more time do you want to spend?
We're not going to compete. First of all, if you're going to approach a single mom, just know her time is limited. Time is money.
Thank you.
For single moms, time is money. If you say we're going on a date, I've got a babysitter at home. And that's the thing. We can't just be like prancing all around town. Like, my mum is at home looking after Isabella, and I told her I'd be back at 11. So at 11:05,
I need to go home.
She's gonna be like on my phone.
You're
like,
not gonna convince me to sleep at Holiday Inn.
No.
And then go home at 6 in the morning.
Unless if it's booked in, and you've got a boyfriend, your family knows him. Unless it's booked in, and you booked your babysitter ahead of time.
Thank you.
But otherwise than that, no.
And I can truly say most of my pursued like relationships or the guys that I've dated, that's the end of it all. When you want to disrespect me to that level where you want to put me down to, it's now me choosing you over my child, and I need to stay out because you have certain needs and your needs come above my child.
Bye.
We're done. Finito. Don't come back. Bye.
Because you'll never win. Like, if it's you versus my child, it's my child.
You versus my child versus my African parent. Trust me, you won't win.
When do you reckon you want to introduce, or what's the right time to introduce a guy to your daughter? I get asked this all the time, and I think I've got an answer now.
Me personally, I think it's very important the kind of people or the kind of energy, and you know, you have to be selective with the kind of people that do meet your child. I do feel like if you are dating somebody and that person is serious about you, and you're very secure in that relationship, and you know that person is serious about you, and subsequently, like, they also care about your child, and they're happy and they're ready to meet your child, and they're ready to take the next steps as to be in a very serious, committed relationship, then that person can meet your child. However, you can't let any Tom, Dick, motherfucking Harry go around.
Any Tinashe, any, Nabuto cannot come and meet my child. Can't come and meet my child. That was my thing as well. But then I always think, if I introduce someone too late, and I can see that person's not like really comfortable with children, then is it one of those, for me it'll be, if you're not comfortable with my child, then that's it. That's done. So sometimes I'm like, do I want to wait 2 years? Or
I feel like it's a sticky one, because everybody always has an opinion towards certain things that you choose to do as a mum, or things that you choose not to do as a mum. However, I do feel like there's always like another side to a coin. It's okay, let me wait, establish a relationship with this man, and then introduce my child. Me, I'm not saying, oh, you're gonna meet my child when we're like two steps down the aisle. Like, no. I need to see you and how you interact with my child, and I need to see you guys build a bond. So I'm not saying it's gonna take such like a long time, or maybe we're gonna take a year or however long. No,
it's just when you're ready.
It's just when you're ready as a person. However, I do feel like that person needs to show you a certain level of respect and a certain level of commitment towards you and your child, for your child to be able to meet them. Because when you catch somebody off guard, that's the worst thing you can do, because you don't want someone to come like that. I feel like you need to just kind of know, there's men and then there's men.
Yeah, there's men and then there's boys.
There's men that date you and think, oh, you got a child. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
But you're pretty, so let's carry on doing what we're doing.
And then there's men that know that when you're dating somebody with a child, you need to come to my house holding a little bit of satin every time you come. Like, there's certain behaviors and certain things, that just show me that you are ready for that kind of commitment, or that level of being in my child's life. Is like when you actually, apart from me, you also think about my child.
That's the
whether
thing.
you bring like, I don't know, Haribos, or whether you bring like a little jumper, or whether you bring like a bottle of milk. Like, you just need to
just
do
have
something.
some interest, not even just asking, but like show some interest. Like, don't just be like, oh, how's your baby?
Know my child's name.
Know my child's name.
How are they? Ask me every day.
Ask how far she is with her vocabulary.
Someone used to call Isaiah he, and I was like, I've told you multiple times that she's a girl. Like,
it's that kind of thing where you're just like, well, you're clearly not interested, so next.
No, because you're not listening.
You're not listening, so next. Like, you're not the guy.
Yeah. Me being a mum, like, Isaiah is now 10 months. How old is he's like a year and
a half.
When I first became a mum, I thought I was missing out on a lot. Bring mum down the phone, and I feel very vulnerable, and I felt like I was missing out, because obviously I was seeing my friends out, and there's certain things that I wanted to do that I couldn't do. In my journey being a mother, I definitely felt a bit down. I wouldn't use the word depressed, although at that point I maybe felt like I was depressed, but I feel like now I know the difference.
I feel like everyone goes through a bit of depression, especially when you're like I felt like I had a bit of, I wouldn't say depression, because I feel like that's a really strong word, but I had a strong sense of like, wow, like, now what? Do you know what I mean? And it just clouds you a bit, and you think, oh, should I go back? Should I do this? And there's so many thoughts in your head, and you're just cluttered in your head. I wouldn't say it was depression, but I think everyone has it. Every new mum has it, but I think that's natural.
Yeah, I feel like
they do tell you about like it's like a you have a high, obviously.
You're high and you're excited about the baby, and then you go boom,
because you're sleep deprived. You're looking at your friends on Snapchat, they're out in pum shorts, and you're thinking, shit, like, when am I gonna put mine on? Like, you're super depressed, and then you're thinking about your life, and obviously if you're a single mum, you've got real thoughts to think about. So I think I felt like that for a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't, I feel like I wasn't depressed about like the FOMO, because I was like, okay, this is it now, like, I'm a mum. I was looking at people thinking, oh, that would be nice. but I think I was more depressed about the situation and like sad about the situation. So I feel like obviously if I was with my baby dad, maybe it would have been different, but I feel like it would have been just a different type of depression.
Yeah.
Because then you're thinking, I'm bringing my child into a whole lot of mess. So, you know, it would just have been a different type of depression.
So do you think, obviously, your baby's father was, you know, there during the pregnancy. Mine wasn't there at all, and I think I kind of learned, or I had to deal with being a single mum from the get-go. As maybe for you, I think, you know, there was always hope, even though the relationship wasn't perfect. In your head, obviously, you being pregnant, you know, they may be just, you know, maybe at the back of your head there was a little bit of,
do you know what,
maybe just maybe, because I don't think you being pregnant that whole time and he was present, you ever thought of yourself being a single mom, and then you ended up being one. As for me, I was pregnant, I was told from the get-go that, listen,
that's it.
I
feel like when I was pregnant, I'd already checked out. Does that make sense? You know how they say women check out of relationships sooner than men? That was me. So in my head, I was already like, okay, this is, you know, a strong possibility. I'm a single mom, whatever. And I wouldn't necessarily say that. I know obviously we're not in the same position because he wasn't there completely, but
much as we were not in the same position at the beginning, we're now, you a year and a half later, me 10 months later, in the same boat, and we're speaking about it, and we can actually relate.
So I feel like during the pregnancy, it's not just about you being there as a dad, like, or having someone there. It's actually about being present and trying to, and showing interest, especially when someone's pregnant, like your hormones are doing a madness. You feel like you need that support, and at that moment, obviously the relationship's not perfect. Then I'm pregnant and I'm not feeling like there is that support. So you do feel a little bit like, oh, I might as well just be a single mom. Or there is, especially for us single moms, like there's a different type of support that comes from obviously your family and your sisters and everything, but from the person that you made the child with. Of course, we think about that. I think about that. I think that would be so nice if you could be with someone, you know, that you made the child with, and you're both so excited and you're going through it together.
Is that now? Do you think about it now?
I do. I feel like when looking back, I'm like, wow, like look at these, you know, cute couples walking in, you know, whatever, mother care, and the woman's pregnant, the guy's like all over it, like he's so excited, and you can tell that he's like looking forward to it. And I'm just like, that would have been nice. Even now, you still think it would be nice to have someone that you made the child with be like, oh, you know what, Mercy, you're doing a good job with Zaya, with our daughter.
Like that is bad.
Okay. But for me, I'm like, that would be so nice.
But you know, I feel like because you had the experience, me personally, like, I just feel like I knew what the deal was, like, from the get-go.
So now you're just like, you've blocked it out of your mind.
I have. One thing that does annoy me is, the one thing that annoys me is not me thinking, oh, it would have been cute for us to be a perfect family, because I loathe my baby dad, like, I don't like I promised that I was not going to do this, but like, we're not compatible at all. Like, I don't like him, and I don't think he likes me either. Like, we just don't like each other. So any like perspective of us being together, or any thoughts of us being together and raising Isaiah, is the kind of like a no-no. But one thing that does hurt me is that you're on WhatsApp and you probably see me on every other social media, and you see your daughter growing up, and you just don't give you don't give a damn. And does that upset me? Well, still, I mean, I think about it. I don't think it upsets me to the point where I'm like, okay, let me like start texting this. Like, I'm gonna text you and I'm gonna tell you how upset I. Like, no,
because he has to be a man about it. Like, it's not your job to remind you.
Do I think about it? Yes. Does it affect me, emotionally and everything else above? No. Do you know why? Because I feel like I've had such a strong support system, and I feel like that has something to do with it. If I was probably by myself and I didn't have the support, I'd be one of those crazy baby moms. I'll be on your door like this every day, fam.
I think that as well. I feel like my mum's always been like, just respect yourself. Like, you're young, you're beautiful, you've got everything going for you. Just be a single mom. It's not gonna kill you. Live your life. Whereas I feel like if I wasn't at home, I feel like I would have gone back and just like settled, because, well, we've done the Walla, so let's just do it. Like,
and I think the whole baby mama drama thing comes from a woman not having enough support to be able to look after that child, because looking after a newborn baby, or any child in general, even at this age that I am in my life, I still need my mom, and we still go through struggles, and she still thinks about me as if I'm a baby in that way. So you being by yourself is
crazy.
It's crazy. And you know, money, and you think, support, who am I going to get support from? You want support from the person that you had the baby with, because it takes two. I wasn't doing it on my own. No. So, you know, pay up or just come collect your kid for a few hours so I can do other things. And that's the thing with single mums, or the typical single mum stereotype, is that they are angry and they're broke. You know, they're trying to, whatever little money that they use, they're using it on the child. They're broke, they're uneducated because they can't get the time to, you know, to study, and they can't further their studies because the dad won't take the child or whatever. So it does, that's what creates a baby mama like that. You know, baby dads think that when we say we want child support or we want help with a child, we're using your 2 coins to bundles, get the stuff for her. This is my thing. Even if I decide to use your money, even if you give me £300 today and I decide to take £50 off it and buy myself bundles, I should be allowed to. Because I'm raising your child. I don't care. Yeah, I'm raising. What are you gonna say to me? I don't care. I should be allowed to because I'm raising your child. And I feel like men do not understand the ins and outs and the day-to-day of raising a child. You don't get it. You may give me £300, but it doesn't take that it doesn't mean that it's gonna take £300 to cover the whole month. No. But that's the problem. Instagram dads as well. That's what they do. Like, or part-time. These part-time fathers, they come, they show up, they go and buy their kids, you know, 2 little, you know, shoes or whatever. I don't agree with the part-time father on me. Instagram, and then suddenly, oh, you're the dad of the year. I hate that. My baby dad used to do Kodak moments. Like, I hate a Kodak moment. I hate a Kodak moment. Like, why are you a Kodak moment dad? Like, I don't like it. You come to my yard to take pictures of my child and you just want to complain the whole time you're here, yada, yada, yada. Like, no. Yeah, why hasn't she got any shoes on? Because have you ever tried wrestling with... Has that happened to you, NOMMIE? Yeah. And you're like, have you ever tried wrestling with this child? This was the other one. You know, Isaiah does not drink like hot milk. She doesn't like hot milk. But because you're not around, you wouldn't know that she doesn't like hot milk. How can you be here, right, saying to my mum, oh, this bottle is cold. She should be drinking cold... She can drink whatever she likes. Send me pictures. I'm not going to send you pictures of a child you don't see. Like, I'm not gonna do that. No. So you can post it up on Instagram. Like, that's the most insulting thing, because you just want the glory, temporary glory from all your little followers. Imagine of you turning up for an hour. You're here, but slaving, and you want to post an Instagram pic when your child's looking nice and cute, with the clothes that you ain't even bought, and the hair that you didn't even pay for. Because the real work is not like in that little moment. The real work is when kids are up at 2 a.m. and you don't even know why, they're screaming, whatever. That's where the real work is. Changing nappies all the time. Because in that 2 hours, nothing might happen. Like, she'll just be there looking cute and clean. Yeah. But there's real work to be done, okay? And you lot just want to be part-time Instagram dads, and we're not with it. Put away your phone. How about spend some time with your child? Thank you. Put your phone down. Thank you. These are the things that we go through, guys. I feel like we have to talk about what we go through. And the whole reason for my channel, I was saying to NOMMIE, is, you know, showing that journey of coming out the other side. And, you know, that positive outlook on life and just on being a baby mum even. And I feel like there's a negative connotation to being a baby mother. However, not most of us are the typical or the stereotypical baby mother. Some of us are actually out here doing it on our own, and even with the little help, and I do say little help, we have to do most of the work. And I feel like that's something that has to be acknowledged. And I'm happy that my baby's here, do not get me wrong. Being a mother has changed me in so many ways that I cannot even imagine. Even mum says that I was scared when you had a baby because I didn't think that Isaiah was going to change you in any way, shape or form. But the fact that she's here, I've had to rethink my whole life, and I've had to change as a person. And it's not been by force, it's just something that has just happened. It's like a natural thing. Yeah. It's a natural growth, and that's the thing. Like, once you have your child, things just come into focus. Things that you didn't even think about before just come into focus. You know that you have to work harder, you have to be focused. Even just dating, like, you can't afford to waste any time because everything is like segmented. Like, you have to be on point with everything, the people that you deal with, your friends, friendships, how you spend your money, you know, saving, all that kind of stuff. Like, this happens when you have a child, and you're just like, you know. And the thing is, guys, most of us are actually happy. Like,
We're happy. Yeah,
we're actually happy.
We're actually happy.
If I was stuck in that same old situation that I was in back then about 2 years ago now, because it takes about 9 months to be pregnant and then 9 months to raise, 10 months to raise a baby. So for me, it's been about 2 years. For Nommie, it's been about 3 years. But I think if we're to look back on our lives, you can agree to disagree. We're actually a lot happier now than we were back then. And I think sometimes you just have to show gratitude and be happy for the little things in life that we do have.
And you have to think that your child gets to look at a mother that is happy. And that's it. Like, I can't even imagine like what Isabella would have seen me doing. Like,
I always use the same line that in order for our children to be happy, we have to be happy first. Everyone's always laughing, but I feel like that's like the most profound thing that I've ever said in my life. And you guys will know, you will find out that this is true. Because if I'm not happy and for whatever reason I'm stressed out about something, or grumpy, my life is just very, I'm just feeling down, I'm not going to be able to be productive in any way, shape or form to myself or to my child. So sometimes I think I don't think that you should stay with somebody just because you've had a child with them. And I definitely believe that whoever you have a child with does not mean that they're the person that you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. Guys, having a baby is not a prison sentence. Please.
You've not signed your life away. Like, it's just a baby, and it's possible to do it separately.
And now it's not just a baby, is it? It's not a person. Like, I now see Isaiah as a person. Like, before I used to cry and be like, she just stares at me.
She's boring.
And now, like, she's actually got her own personality and she's her own person. And to actually kind of look at that and feel like we did that is like,
I created that. Like, that is,
it's amazing, isn't it?
And you've gotten your child to that stage, because people are like, oh my god, she can count and stuff, and I'm like, like, we did that. Like, we did that. And it's the satisfaction of being like, I did that, but we also did that without a man involved, without her dad involved. Of being like, you can still raise a perfectly happy baby without having an
character building, guys. Character building. I feel like for anything, children are character building. And if anything, I think that if you take the lesson from God very seriously, and with a bit of you'll see what he's trying to teach you. That sometimes challenges do happen. Not saying a child is a challenge, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, it's not easy. And I just wanna say, like, you should have a child when you're ready to, or if you, I don't feel like you should never be an impulsive decision to have a child, or you shouldn't have a child to think that you can keep a man because you've had a child for him. It doesn't work. And for all you niggas that think that we have children so that
we can trap you.
So
oh my god, like,
please. No, stop it. Like, don't do it. That's like the biggest insult that I've ever had in my life, is any man saying to any woman, or you niggas out here opening your mouth saying you had a baby to trap me. Trap you for what? Are you Jay-Z?
Did I get stretch marks? Did I throw up 6 times a day to try and trap you? Do I stay up at 2 a.m. to try and trap you? Like, just be like, think about these things.
Yeah.
Are you Bill Gates?
Please, if you're Bill Gates, I will trap you 10,000 times over. Trust me, every little sperm that you leave either on the sheets, I'll be taking and shoving it into my vagina.
Literally, I'm pissing condoms.
Right? I'll be putting pins in all day long.
But you with your broke little 9-to-5 job,
you think I'm baby trapping you?
No, like, come on, like, think logically. No one wants to be. I feel like no one wants to voluntarily be a single mom. I don't know.
No, we don't. We're single moms by circumstance, guys. As much as you don't want to believe we're single moms by circumstance.
Yeah, no one wakes up and
if this was me, I'd be out here in the club Friday to Sunday like I used to. No, actually, we used to start on Thursdays, guys, and we used to finish on Sunday, okay? If there was a rave on Sunday, you're gonna see me Monday. Like,
I feel like God really does reveal a lot through your child.
He does.
And I feel like he brings out a lot of your fears as well. Like, when you have a child, a lot of things that you didn't even think about.
You put certain things into perspective.
Yeah, it really does. So, listen, it's a blessing more than anything else. And if you are a single mum and you're watching this, and
kudos to you.
Kudos to you. You deserve
should be proud of yourself, guys. You should actually be so proud of yourself. And one thing I'll never do is judge a single mom. Like, however you choose to raise your child and however, you know, you get to go about your day and live your life and, you know, be happy within yourself as a person in order to look after your child, then I'm happy for you. Whatever floats your boat. I don't think anybody's allowed to judge anybody's parenting or the decisions that they've made in order for them to look after their children. If it works for you, then good for you.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, please not forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you'd like to see me and NOMMIE do another video, please comment down below as to what video you guys would like us to do and